Perhaps no single commander and military organization embodied the always-never problem more than the enigmatic General Curtis LeMay and his vaunted Strategic Air Command. In 1958, LeMay listened with interest to Freddie Clay's RAND report on accidental or unauthorized use.
Almost by accident, the then Vice Chairman of the Air Force, General Curtis LeMay, heard about the briefing, and he says, "I want to get the briefing. Should there be a nuclear accident in the United States that is blamed on our own forces, what would happen to his Air Force afterwards?" And so he was known as a hardliner, as a guy who wanted to have his bombs ready to retaliate massively, but he also knew that this kind of a risk had to be reduced or eliminated.
General LeMay dramatized a different problem with the nuclear command and control system. What do you do if all of the civilian leaders are gone? You could design the command and control system so that in such a case, it would fail impotent. Or you could design the system that says, in that case, the military can retaliate with nuclear weapons regardless. And General LeMay argued for the latter system. And LeMay said, the pilot's an American, he'll know what to do.
For General LeMay, the quantum leap in the destructiveness of nuclear weapons was profound, and he was determined to protect the United States from a bolt from the blue, like that which struck on a clear, hot summer morning. What some would call an absolute weapon focused the tension between military and civilian objectives, immediate availability versus deliberative decision-making about nuclear weapons. In the year following its use in World War II, the foundations of nuclear policy were established. President Truman transferred authority for this uniquely destructive weapon from military to civilian hands, while reserving the ultimate decision for its use to the president.
Even at the very beginning, many of the themes that operated during the Cold War and still operate as we consider what to do with nuclear weapons were present.
The first and most important one was a recognition that nuclear weapons were different from other military tools. A uniquely destructive weapon that had to be handled in a very different way.
The spirit of the arrangement at that time was to keep nuclear weapons under civilian control and separated, if you will, from the operational military commands that would ultimately use them if they were to be used.
To assure that a wide range of views would be brought to bear on everything having to do with nuclear weapons.
In which there was a division of responsibilities between those who were charged with designing, developing, producing, and manufacturing, and those who were charged with executing them in military operations.
The Atomic Energy Act of 1946 created a civilian-led Atomic Energy Commission that would administer civilian and military uses of U.S. atomic power. The act also established clear civilian authority over the use of nuclear weapons vested in the president.
And presidential authorization for use has continued to this day as the central feature of nuclear weapon command and control.
Over time, the balance between assertive presidential control and its delegation to the military varied with each administration. In 1987, President Reagan formalized nuclear command and control policy, assuring authorized use of nuclear weapons and assuring against unauthorized or inadvertent use.
During the Cold War, it was our overriding concern that our forces be survivable to a first strike. In order to manage that risk, we had to accept other risks. This business is all about risks.
Doing that, you have to consider that the weapons should always be ready to maintain deterrence, but they should never be available for unauthorized use or never be subject to an accident.
Political leaders need to think about where do they feel comfortable in this continuum between safety and reliability.
And that's a delicate balance.